Okay, good afternoon. So, again, as we promised yesterday, today we are going to solve two ABGs live so that users which are viewing this video get to know how which we have learned we can practice in our day-to-day practice. So, I have with me Dr. Benjamin, who will solve one blood gas, and I have with me Dr. Meenal. She will also solve one blood gas. So, we are stopping here. We are switching the camera. We are focusing on the desk, so that you can see how they are solving in day-to-day practice in the ICU. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, here is the blood gas which is there in the ICU, and this is the plain paper. Now Dr. Milan will solve this ABG step by step. Okay, hand over to Dr. Milan.
So first of all, we'll look at the PO2 level. So the PO2 level is 216.3 mm of Hg. Since the patient is on ventilator, we'll see the ventilator settings. Now we'll move on to PCO2 level.
Okay.
Next,
how much this is on FiO2? 70%.
Yes, sir.
Take.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Next, we'll look at the.
So it is hyperoxemia.
Yes, sir.
Hyperoxemia. The FiO2 needs to decrease.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So next, we'll look at PCO2 value. The PCO2 value of this very patient is 39.5 mm Hg. The normal value is between 35 to 45, so we can see it's within the normal
Except
range.
means the respirator is quite comfortably set on ventilator.
Yes,
okay.
sir. Next, we look at the pH value. The pH value is 7.260,
Okay,
which
so
means
it
it's
is
less than 7.4, means there is a decrease in the pH, so it can be acidosis.
See, 7.4 you will use when there is a pH falls between 7.35 to 7.45. You have confusion whether it is acidosis or alkalosis. But now as it is below 7.35, so it's clearly acidosis. Now we'll look whether it's metabolic component or respiratory component.
Now we look at the bicarb level.
So for pH 7.2 acidosis, either bicarb should go down or PCO2 should go up. Okay, let's see.
So the HCO3, the bicarb level, if we note here, the bicarb level are 17.3. The normal value for bicarb is between 20 to 26.
22 to 26.
22 to 26. Since it's less than that, it means the bicarb level is also decreased.
So it is
And the pH has also
decreased.
So it will be because it's dependent upon HCO3, so it will be a metabolic cause.
Metabolic acidosis.
And since pH is decreasing, it will be acidosis. It is metabolic acidosis. Next, we will try to find out whether it's what kind of anion gap.
Once you got to know that it's metabolic acidosis, you need to classify whether it's high anion gap, normal, low. We'll calculate the anion gap. So how you calculate anion gap?
So the anion gap is calculated by sodium minus chlorine plus chloride plus bicarb level.
Okay.
So in this, the sodium level is 130.9 minus chlorine level is 96. Chloride level is 96.4 plus bicarb level is 17.3. So if we calculate it, it will come out to be 17.2.
17. So
the anion gap, the expected,
this is the actual anion gap which is present in your ABG report. Okay.
So the actual anion gap is 17.2.
So now we will compare with what is expected in this patient. Only then we will be able to know whether it is high, normal or low. So what should be the expected anion gap?
So the expected anion gap is calculated by 12 minus the pH correction plus the albumin correction. Since there is no albumin correction in this, we will go for the pH correction. Since pH is less than 7.35, we will deduct 2. So 12 minus 2, that will be 10. So we can clearly see that.
So our actual anion gap is 17.2, expected is 10, and the actual is 10 plus 2, more than 10 plus 2. So it will be high anion gap, metabolic acidosis. Just a second. Okay. So it is high anion gap metabolic acidosis. Now once you have high anion gap metabolic acidosis, you need to calculate the corrected bicarb to see whether another disorder is present or not. Okay.
So we calculate the corrected bicarb. The corrected bicarb is calculated by the delta anion gap. The anion gap. The
delta anion gap plus actual bicarb.
So the bicarb level is 17.3 and the delta is 17.
Delta anion gap means difference between actual and expected.
So it is 7 point.
So our actual anion gap is 17.2, expected was 10, so it is 7.2 plus 17.3. So it comes around
5, 7, 7, 14. 7 and 7, 14, 24.5.
24. So it's between 22 to 26 range. So there is no any disorder, no other hidden disorder is present.
Yes, sir.
And we have not calculated the compensation because patient is on ventilator. So respiratory rate we can adjust with the ventilator.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Vida. Okay, so we have one more ABG. Dr. Benjamin is going to solve. Okay, we'll start, Benjamin.
So as you've seen in the previous video wherein we are reading an ABG, so sir has told us to first start off with PO2. So we look at the PO2. The PO2 in this patient is 126.6. That is, he is slightly hyperoxemic. So
On how much FiO2 it is there?
he is on 60% FiO2 right now.
Okay, so compared to 60%, this PO2 level in the blood is low. So we need to find out whether the lungs are abnormal or lungs are normal. So we'll calculate with
AA gradient.
AA gradient, alveolar arterial gradient. Okay,
So
how
the
will
formula
calculate?
is 713 into FiO2 minus 1.25 into PCO2 minus PO2.
This is bracket close. Okay.
So 713 into 0.6 minus 1.25 into the PCO2 in this patient is 39.4 and PO2 is 126.6. So I've already
Solved it.
solved it. So this is 427.8 minus 49.25 minus 126.6. So
It comes out.
the total comes out to be 251.9.
Okay, so alveolar arterial gradient is high, means more than 50%.
More than 50.
More than 50. Range is 15 to 50. So there is definitely a problem in the lung. This patient is of ARDS, which we are seeing. Okay.
So
You need to calculate, those who are seeing, you need to calculate alveolar arterial gradient regularly so that you get to know whether lungs are improving or not improving. Okay. Next is PCO2.
next we come to PCO2. As we said, PCO2 is 39.4, which falls between 35 to 45, so it is in the normal levels.
So ventilatory settings are quite okay in this. Just a minute.
The pH of this patient is 7.305, which is less than 7.35, which is a clear case of acidosis. Now we look at the bicarb. The PCO2 level is fine. The bicarb in this patient is 19.2, which is less than 22, which means there is a metabolic acidosis.
See, once you find out your pH is less than 7.35, means acidemia is there, either bicarb should go down or PCO2 should go up. PCO2 is within the normal range, 39, between 35 to 45, and it's on the ventilator, and bicarb has gone down. So it's a primary metabolic acidosis. So once you have metabolic acidosis, you need to differentiate, classify whether it's high anion gap, normal anion gap, or low or negative anion gap. So next step is we will calculate the anion
Anion
gap. How do you calculate anion gap?
So anion gap actual should be sodium minus chloride plus bicarb. In this patient, sodium is 156.4 minus chloride is 118.9 and bicarb is 19.2. So anion gap comes to 17.9.
So 17.9 is the actual anion gap in the body. Just by looking at 17.9, you can't classify. You need to compare it what is expected in this patient. Okay, we'll turn now. So write down actual anion gap. What is there?
So AG actual is 17.9.
What is
Now-
the expected?
Yeah. So AG expected, 12 is a constant. It is the normal anion gap, and we add the pH correction to it, and we also add if there is any albumin correction to it.
Okay.
So in this case 12 plus pH 7.30.
So if the pH is less than 7.35, you deduct -2. If it is more than 7.45, you add +4. So in this case, -2 will be there. We don't have albumin levels, and it seems to be correct. You have albumin
Yes,
level?
we have albumin. Albumin in this patient was 2.3. So as it is less than almost 2 less than 4, so we deduct 4 from it. So normal is 4. Albumin normal is 4. So with each decrease in albumin level, we subtract 2.
So if your albumin level goes down by 1, your anion gap decreases by 2. So in this case, the albumin is 2, reduced by 2, so we'll deduct -4. So what will be your expected anion gap?
Expected will be 6.
12 minus 2 means pH correction, -4 means albumin correction. So our expected anion gap is 6, and what was our actual? It was 17.9. So definitely this anion gap is high anion gap metabolic acidosis because it's more than expected +2 range, means above 8. Now once you have calculated high anion gap, only in case of high anion gap you should always see corrected by CARB. This will tell you whether the patient is having any other hidden disorder. So what is corrected by CARB? It is
Corrected.
the actual by CARB plus the delta anion gap, difference between actual and expected.
So delta anion gap will be 17.9 minus 6, and bicarb is 19.2, which will come to 11.9 plus 19.2, which is 30.1, which is above 26.
Means if this comes between 22 to 26, there is no hidden disorder, but it is more than 26. That means this patient is having metabolic alkalosis along with high anion gap metabolic acidosis. This patient is in one case of diabetes. He is on ventilator or some chest infection, likely ARDS, and now is landing in DK. So he's dehydrated also due to metabolic alkalosis, and also it's in HAGMA due to DK. Okay, we'll come up with another videos regularly. Thank you, Dr. Manjay. So you have seen in the video, we have solved 2 ABGs. So in one there was a high alveolar radial gradient, there was high anion gap metabolic acidosis, then there was hidden disorder of metabolic alkalosis. Dr. Meenal forgot to calculate the alveolar arterial gradient. So this was our first solving ABG on the live class. It happens at times, but I thank both of them for solving them for you. Stay tuned, we will be coming with lots of ABGs, ECGs, your blood investigations and routine bedside cases. We'll discuss in live so that everybody get to feel that we can do it in live ICU environment, whatever the conditions of the ICU, whether you have in a tertiary ICU or basic ICU. Investigations remain the same. It's your thought process, it's your thinking that makes the change, not the gadgets of investigations. Thank you.